Welcome to the 2025 version of our WFAA Original Special. I'm Morgan Young. Today we are taking over the usual hour of news for something different. An hour of some of our best stories from the year. Stories of inspiration and hope. Stories to make you laugh and cry. Stories to make you think. Stories to put your life and all of our individual and shared struggles in perspective. We begin with reporter Cole Sullivan and photographer Sam Cooper and a new friend they found at Dallas Love Field, a man with a steering wheel in hand, but with a song in his heart.
Everyone's got somewhere to be, and no time to get there. When you wait at an airport, it's only for a chance to go again.
Good morning, sir. Come right up.
But time...
How you doing today?
Okay, and you?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
...seems to slow down on this rental car shuttle.
Thank you so much for choosing Alamo National Enterprise as your car company. Blue moon.
Harold Moore
You saw me standing alone.
serenades as he steers.
Dream in my heart.
And as passengers
Just like makes my day, starts my day off fantastic.
perk up.
Usually everybody just looks so depressed on these things on their phone.
Are we gonna go traveling?
Harold's ministry of music began with a 50-cent thrift store Sinatra CD.
And when it came on, I looked in the rearview mirror and everything on the people's faces said it all. Honeymoon.
Decades on,
Technology changed, so I had to change too. Let's fly away.
the music hasn't stopped.
I can't help it, because it makes my day. It just does.
And he makes theirs.
Like when I don't get Harold, I'm always like, oh man, all right, this is a regular ride today.
Passengers can tell this is more than a job for Harold.
It's a pleasure to see you again. You go out and have a great day today.
They have no idea how much more.
Yes, at one point, I myself was a homeless person in this town at one point. I never discussed that with anybody. I usually keep that to myself.
He came to Love Field to return a ride. Credit card limit full, job search coming up empty.
I told Alamo, I said, well, y'all done took all my money. I need a job now. And they looked at me and they did what you doing. They laughed. I didn't, but they did, and they realized I was serious.
He started driving the next Monday.
I've never had to worry about a paycheck in 28 years. It means a lot to me. Yeah, love me.
Now, Harold has a reputation.
All right, how are you doing?
Oh, you're the music man.
Yes, ma'am.
Someone who makes the race to arrive a trip to remember.
I've had couples in the aisles dance before. Oh, yeah.
And even when travel doesn't feel like it has much of it,
Come back and see us again, all right? You're welcome. Whatever you do, keep on smiling.
Harold brings joy.
'Cause when you're smiling, babe, the whole world smiles with you.
In Dallas,
Oh, yeah. Whatever you do, just keep on smiling. Thank you.
I'm Cole Sullivan.
As that shuttle driver shares his inspiration with every passenger he meets, another group is sharing in a different way. How do you turn loss into something beautiful, lasting, and even courageous? Reporter and photojournalist Kevin Reese explains.
Her name is Lila,
Where are we going?
and it's been a rough first 2 years.
It was at the 20-week ultrasound that we saw the heart defect.
A heart defect whose only solution would be a heart transplant. It happened at Children's Health in Dallas when she was 8 months old.
Her first year, she went through more hard things than most people will go through in their entire lives. Is that Cuddle Bear?
But along with all of the medical marvels that saved Lila, there's also a wood shop in Richardson.
I'm a self-taught, YouTube-taught woodworker.
And a man named Bodie Pendus.
5/8.
He's making boxes from a very old piece of wood.
Honestly, I'm sad.
It was called the Quadra Quincentennial Bur Oak, more than 90 feet tall and 500 years old, when it fell in Plano's Bob Woodruff Park in 2023.
And to see your favorite tree laying on the ground.
For an arborist, it was a horrible day.
I'm kind of in mourning, you know, I don't know how else to describe it.
But in that sense of mourning, woodworkers wanted to create something useful.
Can you say hi?
Just as another family's loss gave Lila the gift of life. They wanted to bring purpose to the loss of what was the oldest North Texas tree.
I'll nominate Ed Maston for treasurer. Damn.
The North Texas Woodworkers Association, a group of hobbyists and part-time tinkerers, crafted dozens of jewelry boxes, all shapes and sizes, a place to keep these.
Some of the children, over their course of their stay, they may get 500 to 1,000 beads.
The Beads of Courage program at Children's Health, bracelets and necklaces to mark every treatment, every milestone, every medical miracle.
There's no time for processing in the moment. You're just going from crisis to crisis. So having that memento to kind of look back on is really nice.
Just to kind of show, like, oh, if you look at all the things she went through, look at all of these beads, and look at her now.
Here we go. So, the North Texas Woodworkers are creating as many Beads of Courage bur oak boxes as they possibly can.
On their own time, spend their own money, volunteer, and donate it. And that's just amazing to me.
To be able to give back to the parents going through this traumatic time in the life of their children, to have a little bit of encouragement that they will come out the other side.
Hi, I'm Bodie Pindis.
And Bodie Pindis, who shares videos of his woodworking techniques, does this for one more reason.
And about the time that I was making the videos, my grandson was diagnosed with leukemia.
A grandson also successfully treated at Children's Health.
So I made him his own Beads of Courage box.
As for Lila,
She's doing amazing.
She's too young to know what that handcrafted box and those beads really mean. But someday, Mom and Dad will tell her.
It's very cliche and, parenting, like, oh, you enjoy every day and cherish every moment. But, like, we really do, because we didn't know we would have these moments.
Moments of courage and the story of one very old and still giving tree. In Dallas, I'm Kevin Reese.
Coming up next on our WFAA original special, the Dallas Cowboys cheerleader who took a chance, bared her soul, and became a worldwide inspiration. Our WFAA original special continues after this break. Welcome back to our WFAA original special. Armani Latimer had a secret. She was already a popular Dallas Cowboys cheerleader, but there was one part of her story most of the world didn't know. Photojournalist Arnold Payne and Martin DePorto show us her revealing act of bravery on a national stage.
It was a night that the NFL annually celebrates its My Cause, My Cleats. An opportunity for NFL players to wear their hearts on their cleats, to champion a cause that's important to them. But this year, the messaging of a different team member would capture the hearts of many. Not displayed on her shoes, but instead bearing her heartfelt message on the weight of her shoulders.
I really wanted to push forward the awareness of alopecia and the effect that it has on people.
Meet Dallas Cowboys cheerleader Armani Latimer. She chose this night, with a nation watching, to make her statement.
I don't want any woman, little girl out there to feel like that they don't have a voice in this world or someone who's going to speak up for them.
Since childhood, Armani has lived with alopecia areata, an incurable autoimmune disease that causes hair loss.
I wasn't frightened at all, and I had most of my hair, so you couldn't really see the bald spot if I had one.
But Armani's high school years became a bit more unpredictable.
So I could go a whole year of high school and never receive a bald spot, and then I could go 2 months and have 5.
Despite the struggles, Armani's mom and dad refused to let her anxiety steal her peace.
Me and my mom had plenty of conversations about my alopecia growing up. She was kind of my go-to person to help me figure out different hairstyles, and eventually I did turn to wearing extensions or weaves or wigs to help with maintaining the hair that I still did have and to cover up the bald spots that I had.
Armani initially tried out for the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders with her natural hair, but eventually in her second year, she lost it all.
I would say I was probably angry when I lost all of it.
But it was the journey, the shared nurturing with someone who had walked in her footsteps, that gave Armani the reassurance and conviction to move forward.
My dad has alopecia.
It gave me a little peace to know that I could be there for her, to support her, to answer some of the questions.
In fact, it was a little something Dad shared with his daughter that helped shape her perspective moving forward.
There's highs, there's lows, but just know if I had this one other thing about me that was a bonus, actually.
A bonus that she unselfishly wanted to share, one that brought chills to her body, but more importantly, purpose to her heart.
I can actually hear some gasps in the audience as well, and I said, okay, this is it. We're about to start the conversation.
And did it ever? It was a social networking explosion, responses as far away as Australia in support of Armani's efforts. Armani's message is one of hope, aiming to spark conversations that resonate with kids that look like her.
One day, a little black girl or a little black boy can look at me and say, I resonate with you, I see myself in you. And I know that if she can go out there and tackle her fears in front of thousands of people with no wig on, then I can certainly do whatever it is that I want to do.
Due to societal expectations, the loss of hair for all women can be challenging. In the case of Black women, the presence of hair, or lack of, has even deeper roots.
Historically, it has been something that we identify with. It provides community. You know, we're raised getting our hair done, and when it comes to the point of losing the hair, that can sometimes remove some of those cultural things.
One must be tested before sharing a testament, and Armani has.
You know, women are supposed to have long, luscious, beautiful hair. They're supposed to look a certain way, especially Black women. We've definitely had that stigma in the past. There's a lot of history behind our hair, so I love the fact that I'm able to break the stigma and the standard of what beauty in a woman is supposed to be and what it actually looks like.
In Dallas, I'm Arnold Payne.
Coming up next on this WFAA Original Special, a La Vida tribute to a DFW original who shows us what it takes to build and cook the American dream. And who was most upset about Luka Doncic leaving Dallas? Maybe a kid whose name happens to be Luka too. That and more coming up as our WFAA Original Special continues. Welcome back to our WFAA Originals Special. Running a restaurant can be difficult. The failure rate is high. Success is not a given. Reporter Rebecca Lopez and photojournalist Charles Carter found that even with a success story, you'll find a backstory of doubt, struggle, and resilience.
Miko Rodriguez's life has always been tied to restaurants. As a boy, he bussed tables, chopped vegetables, and worked side by side with his mother at Mia's Tex-Mex on Lemon Avenue. He knew then he would someday own his own restaurant.
I was 5 years old and I knew that was what I was going to do.
But one fight with his mom changed everything when he wanted a promotion.
I walked out of the restaurant. My brother chased me and he says, "Miko, you're going to change history."
History did change. Miko launched Micocina with the help of some wealthy customers who invested $82,000.
I had $500 in the bank. So we had 12 tables and we were in a shopping center that was half empty.
So he decided to sell margaritas and created a drink that put Micocina on the map.
And so we came up with something, our margarita, which was my dad's recipe. And through the years, it was a Spanish priest that gave my father a sangria recipe.
The Mambo Taxi was born, and one of Mi Cocina's loyal customers, Juanita Miller, whose dad was real estate mogul Henry S. Miller, wanted a Mi Cocina in Highland Park Village.
Miss Miller, a little feisty, she slammed, they came to eat, and she slammed her fist on the table and said, I want you in my shopping center.
Nico, at your service. I'm going to cook today a pollo a la plancha.
Mi Cocina grew fast, and now it brings in more than $200 million a year in revenue. But with success came struggle. Miko, a recovering addict, swapped alcohol for food addiction and gained a lot of weight.
At my largest, I was probably 450 pounds.
He had the surgery to lose weight, and when he could no longer eat, he began drinking again.
I reached for something to drink, and that's when I relapsed.
Miko spiraled. His marriage was in shambles and he was broke. He sold off his shares in Mi Cocina and lost the restaurants.
I was disconnected, and so I felt isolated. And instead of managing that and looking for help, well, the self-destructive behavior came in.
There were days he withdrew from the world, watching movies in the dark, clinging to the films that gave him comfort, like The Godfather.
Let's say this, they provided comfort and hope.
But he survived, is sober, and now decades later, he's opening something new, just blocks from where he once delivered newspapers as a boy. His newest project, Food Nation, mixes a food hall, a bar, and entertainment. A fresh start rooted in old neighborhood pride.
It's called Food Nation, Cinco Cocinas. Of course, the nation we live in, which, in my opinion, is cross-cultural exchange.
He gets emotional thinking about the people who believe in him, even when he doubted himself.
I guess whatever happens to him happens to us.
Miko says he's softer now, a mentor to his daughter, a survival, grateful for a second chance. And his message to others chasing a dream, take a leap of faith.
Don't be afraid.
A drink, a restaurant, a legacy, all still standing. But so is Miko Rodriguez.
It's been a ride.
In Dallas, I'm Rebecca Lopez.
Coming up after the break, the departure of Luka Doncic from Dallas broke hearts all over North Texas, but none more so than a 4-year-old in Melissa. Why? We'll explain after the break. Welcome back to our WFAA Originals special. Yes, when Luka Doncic was traded to the Los Angeles Lakers, it was a dark day in Dallas. But it was a cloud that hung over a home in Melissa, Texas, too. Why? Well, reporter and photojournalist Tiffany Liu shows us it's because Luka will always be the name of a hero a 4-year-old boy will always remember.
I feel like angry and sad.
There's an idea that a broken heart makes great art. This 4-year-old from Melissa, Texas would agree. This might be his best creation.
Greatest one ever.
Due to the heartbreak of losing Luka Doncic.
It's coming out good.
His all-time favorite NBA player was traded from the Dallas Mavericks to the Los Angeles Lakers.
A waterfall, look, and a lake. The Lakers.
If you ask this little artist why he loves Luka,
This high.
he has a tall list.
How he did like jump and then like slam the ball.
But the number one reason
That's how you spell my name too.
is what they have in common.
Luka.
Luka was named after Luka Doncic.
I was like, well, we can name him Alexander Jesus after me.
His dad, Jesse Raimundo, decided to not pass down his own name.
I was like, hey, I really like that name Luka again. And so she's like, is that because of the guy that we're watching on TV? And I'm like, yes.
After 7 years of watching Luka play, they've collected some, it's a lot, of Luka memorabilia.
That was supposed to be our player that we were going to watch for a really long time. And now he's a Laker.
But with the player gone,
You get attached.
he says their fandom will stay with the Mavs.
We're confused. We don't understand it, but you just kind of, you bleed your colors.
Shocked by the trade, he's glad at least one Luka will stay in Dallas.
I won't trade him. I won't let Nico trade him.
He is Jesse's favorite Luka after all.
7-7.
So as they go through the 77 stages of grief,
I miss you, Luca.
there are so many words in a 4-year-old's vocabulary to describe little Luca's emotions.
I'm so outraged right now.
Outrage?
Yeah. Outrage means when I'm angry.
But it's best on paper.
Hello, shirt.
Coloring his feelings
Hello, radio.
over a broken heart.
Yeah. It looks better in blue.
In Melissa,
Thank you, Luca.
I'm Tiffany Liu. We still have another half hour of stories for you in this WFAA original special. A mom and entrepreneur who also happens to have a vicious right hook. A 14-year-old with legitimate big league dreams. 3 successful generations of a North Texas rodeo family. A breakthrough helping twin brothers finally find their voice. And the story of Dallas neighbors, how one family's loss could save another right across their street. Our WFAA original special continues after this break. Welcome back to the second half hour of our WFAA Originals special. I'm Morgan Young. Coming up in this next half hour, how a rodeo legacy spans 3 generations in pursuit of the American dream. I'm a person who matters, words that ended years of silence for twin brothers with autism. And a medical legacy one little boy leaves behind that might just save his next door neighbor. But first, she's a mom, she's an entrepreneur, but she also has a mean right hook.
Hold on, where my bags at? Oh, here you go.
It takes grit.
I love this girl.
Yes.
And grind.
Here till 10 o'clock, Monday through Thursday.
To juggle these many hats.
I grew up here in Oak Cliff. I just was a person who had a lot of different hustle about me.
Sharetta Metcalf wears boutique, salon, and mobile bartending owner proudly.
You get to really just connect with people.
But no other title is greater than mom. She's a mother of 2 sons. Her oldest was diagnosed with autism at a young age.
My son was born in 2005, so we don't really know about autism like that at all.
But quickly learned.
To be a young mom at night crying, you don't know what's going on with your son, he just not talking. That was my first fight.
But certainly.
Hey everybody, the champ is here.
Not her last.
Hey there, mama. Look at you, looking all pretty.
Because to support her sons.
I started in boxing in the underground circuit.
Going by her childhood nickname, Chicken.
It was chicken sticks, because of my skinny legs. I just took the sticks off.
And with gloves on,
good.
Sharetta took a jab at the ring.
It was probably like 2012. It started around that time. And I'm talking about no experience, no nothing. I just got in there. I never knew how long 2 minutes was until you got to fight for 2 long minutes, 3 rounds.
And they never fought before?
They never fought before. They just said, get in the ring.
Yep. And just like that, Sharetta had a team in her corner. Mostly women, from her mentor/promoter to her trainer, Christine Lopez.
There you go. Woo. It is great to find a close-knit family of women that support each other. There's no jealousy. We want each other to succeed.
And success is all Sharetta sees, gaining the attention of notable boxers like Floyd Mayweather. And now boxing professionally. In September, weighing 116 pounds, Sharetta, aka Chicken, takes the world stage. Sharetta's new title, International Boxing Federation Bantamweight World Champion.
My heart dropped. I knew it in my head, I know I beat her. But to hear them say, and new, well, I was talking about, I'm just saying it just made me have shields on my body.
5 days after winning the belt, Sharetta turned 40 years old.
It's never too late. If you have a desire and a passion, go for it.
And Sharetta is going for hers while giving back too. She rents out her salon to people who may not be able to afford long-term booth rentals. She also trains other boxers and is an advocate for domestic violence survivors and autism awareness.
I've been manifesting my life about this ever since I started. And when I started seeing the bigger picture of everything, when I started seeing how people was being behind me and how much work I was putting in, I said, yeah, this can't go to waste.
Even when the jab seems out of reach.
I'm unfamiliar with motherhood. I'm unfamiliar with autism, all that. And so I had to learn this. It's pretty much like fight. You got to be dedicated to whatever. And you put the work in, no matter what.
Even now carrying a world belt.
I keep it like a pistol.
As a world champ.
Yeah.
They don't go nowhere without
They
me.
ain't going nowhere without it. Ever since they mailed it to me, it's been with me.
It's still this title.
Hey, Mom, your crown heavy.
Seen or unseen, that matters most.
Yes, I love you, baby.
Baseball is widely considered America's pastime, and for athletes around the world, it is also part of the American dream, even if you are barely 14 years old.
Nico Morales feels right at home with a glove on his hand and his feet on the mound.
He can't really go a day without playing baseball. He lives it, breathes it, everything's baseball.
And everything is what they gave up for Nico's chance at a dream, professional baseball.
You don't see kids out here playing, having fun like this on a day-to-day basis. This is what this kid loves.
They live in Greenville in Hunt County.
We don't get hit with the ball.
Mary, his mom, gave up her job and drives more than an hour one way every day for practices and games across DFW.
I just want his dream to come true.
She's awesome, and I love her a lot and appreciate everything she does for me.
For the last 6 years, they've gone back and forth to Mexico for training and tournaments.
Come through it. I would say he's probably within the top, 2 to 3%.
Nico hopes to be one giant step closer to his dream.
Well, it will open many doors for me and hopefully sign with a major league team.
Hey, you in charge on some?
Yeah.
At 14 years old, Nico was offered to sign on with a club in Mexico called Diablos Rojos.
My initial reaction was like, no. It was a sense of loss, like I was going to lose my son.
He did not take the offer, opting to stay close, stay in DFW, but the offer still stands.
I think his biggest asset is his brain.
A utility player who prefers shortstop or pitcher with a fastball that just this year hit 80 miles per hour.
I know for sure I'm his biggest fan. Sometimes I'm the loudest.
Nico has all the promise, all the tools of a young budding star, but his parents believe he has tools beyond baseball.
He's shy but humble and extremely confident.
He now plays at Royce City. In these formative years, experience and exposure are the name of the game. A game he'd like to play at the highest level. In DFW, I'm Jobin Paniker.
Coming up next, another story of the American dream. This one spanning 3 generations in North Texas with the rodeo at its heart. And twin brothers from Heath, thanks to a new approach, are silent no more. We'll be right back after this. WFAA La Vida is our way of celebrating the vibrant Hispanic culture in North Texas. And reporter Jobin Paniker and photojournalist Brandon Mowry have the perfect example. 3 generations of a North Texas family keeping a treasured tradition alive.
This is the story of 3 generations.
I'm Tino Martinez, 4th generation and Mexican in America.
I'm Edward Martinez, 2nd generation Mexican American.
And I'm Kayla Martinez, a 3rd generation Mexican American.
And how life and dreams come full circle, from ranch to restaurant, back to the ranch.
I got it too many.
Tino was raised on the ranches in Mexico.
Got it too many bulls.
Only a 2nd grade education, came to the States at 15 in the 1960s.
Nobody knows me.
Tino was in search of the American dream.
Now, everybody knows Tino.
A couple dollars in his pocket and big dreams, of doing something.
Like opening a Mexican restaurant in Mesquite, where the tortillas come fresh.
His work ethic is what got us here.
A small 10-seat restaurant turned into 2 restaurants seating more than 300 people.
No choices. You gotta work it.
Hard work was Tino's motto.
The pedigrees are everything. Thank y'all for being great customers. Good to see y'all.
It became his son Edward's too.
Now I'm trying to pass it down to my daughter. All right, y'all need anything else?
Edward now manages the restaurants, their ranch in Sunnyvale, and expectations.
All my dad's dream has been is to employ people, give people jobs.
15 years ago, we bought it.
Tino rode bulls in Mexico.
It's beautiful and it's a good one. Come on, baby.
Vividly remembers when an American gave him $100 US to ride a champion bull.
He's gone.
He did, and learned a valuable lesson about bulls.
Look it. He look at me.
Look them in the eyes.
I think which one is good and which one is not good. I look in the eyes.
He said, if
The eyes.
I did it in Mexico, I can do it here.
75 years old and still climbing fences.
I see a lot of him and her, the try and work ethic.
Kayla Martinez has now entered the arena.
Hopefully I can live up to their expectations.
Kayla Martinez back there on the trigger.
She is the #1 ranked junior futurity champion in the world.
At first, it was a little nerve-wracking.
She can flank a bull with the best of them.
I'll make a quick knot right here. It makes me feel proud because I get to be a part of it and take on that legacy that was begun by my grandpa.
The Martinez name is huge in PBR. The family raises and leases out bulls for rodeos.
Yeah, it's a good bucking bull. That one is not slow. That one is fast.
They've had a Martinez bull
Just kind of tells our story.
at every finals since 2007.
Bucking bulls are bred to be, of course, a little hot. When they see that shoot, it's showtime.
Raising bulls is inherently dangerous. In 2020, on their ranch,
The gate swung open and hit him in the head. So hit him in the head and knocked him out.
Right here.
unconscious Tino
Right there.
was picked up by a bull and thrown.
That's where the bull almost killed me.
Tino tells us he should have died that day. You can tell a lot about people, too, if you look in the eyes.
That 4th week, he came out of a coma by himself.
A broken clavicle, 8 broken ribs.
God, give me living some more. Give me.
Gave you strength to...
But Tino didn't get the worst of it.
Not the bull.
After 20 years in the country in the late 1980s, Tino was granted amnesty and citizenship in the United States.
I don't know why. I'm happy.
A lot to be happy for. A legacy that spans from restaurants to ranches, from son to granddaughter.
I think his American dream was fulfilled.
The Martinez family, a legacy that rides full circle.
There is so much the scientific world still does not know about autism, but we do know that the human struggle has unexpected challenges and equally unexpected surprises.
At birth, there was nothing to suggest 18-year-old twins Gabe and Gatlin Britt of Heath were autistic. Until about 1.5 years.
They weren't talking, they weren't really responding to their names.
The boy's mom, Sarah Britt.
I always held on to hope. As they got older, like it would, that hope kind of got a little dimmer, I guess you can say.
Sarah says she and her husband remained optimistic, assuming the boys were fully competent.
Figure out what we need to do to help them.
But what proof did they have?
First, I was kind of in denial.
Educators had spent the boys' first 15 years teaching them at about a 1st grade level.
It broke my heart, if I'm being completely honest.
Likewise, Gabe and Gatlin can't speak and had no way to prove they understood anything.
And then, a couple years ago, Sarah took the boys to a local clinic to try something called RPM, Rapid Prompting Method, which in some cases has helped people with autism communicate. And after just 2 visits, boy, did Gabe and Gatlin have a lot to say.
It was like a box just unlocked and just all of this beautiful stuff came out.
What was it like for people to think that you were mentally disabled? Gabe and Gatlin spelled their answers using a letter board.
Very hurtful. Anything else? Very frustrated and often felt sad and alone. So I want the world to know that I am so smart and I'm a person that matters. Gabe, do you want to do even numbers or odd numbers today?
Both boys hope to go to college and then pursue careers in science and medicine.
Ever since you've had a way to communicate, how has it changed your life?
So my life was always good. Now it is even better. So now I really have it all. Now we are even more blessed.
And happier.
We're going to be learning a little bit today about George Washington.
Sarah says the boys are in a far better place.
That is correct.
With a world of pain behind them and so much potential ahead.
And I feel very fortunate that I just get to witness that and watch them shine like I always knew that they could. I think that's been the greatest thing, is just for the world to finally see Gabriel and Gatlin for who they are.
In Heath,
Well, that's it for today.
I'm Sean Giggy.
Coming up next, another emotional story, but one that also brings hope. A rare condition took a young Dallas boy's life, but the legacy he left behind could help thousands, including the young life of his next-door neighbor. Parents who have lost a child will fight to the end of their days to prove that their child's passing was not in vain, that they can make a difference, that their child's life mattered. A little boy in North Dallas proves exactly that.
He's in a happy mood right now, huh?
This age should be about the long life that lies ahead.
Cutie patootie.
Not the legacy a child might leave behind.
We have a long battle ahead, but the days today are as normal as they can possibly be, which is a blessing.
Days after William James Hall was born, came news that the normal blood screening every newborn in Texas undergoes produced abnormal results.
The first thing you're seeing is childhood and fatal and death, and that turned into a huge spiral immediately.
A rare gene disorder called adrenoleukodystrophy could permanently damage William's brain, but ALD is survivable when detected early. It is terrible when detected late. Because of ALD, Julian Camp-Schulte's mom and dad have now spent more years without their son than with him.
He loved me more than anyone on this earth has ever loved anyone. Mm-hmm. And so he would back himself up against the back door and cry when I was going to go to work because he didn't want me to leave. And I was like, I wish that would have worked the other way around, right? I can just sit there and say no. But he was just funny.
Julian's body could not process certain fatty acids. A toxic buildup slowly damaged his brain. That's what ALD does. But no one knew until symptoms started. And once they start, they cannot be stopped.
The first thing I remember was we were looking online at new shoes for school, and I'm like, hey, will you go get your shoe so I can see what size it is? And he doesn't move. And I'm kind of like, what is he doing? And that was the first sign about his hearing going.
Vision was next. Eventually, Julian could not see or hear at all. Then he lost his motor skills and cognitive ability. Fellow first graders sang outside his window 2 nights before his death. Julian was 8.
It's with us every day.
Yeah, and always will be.
Yeah.
Grief led them to lobby. Julian died in 2016. In 2019, after pressure from the Camp-Schultes and others, Texas began testing newborns for ALD.
Hello.
Which could save a neighbor's life. Baby William lives across the street from the home where Julian lived.
There we go, big guy.
Because of the early diagnosis, William will get regular blood tests and MRIs. If the kind of buildup that damaged Julian's brain begins, doctors will know. Then a bone marrow transplant won't cure William.
Happy birthday to you.
But it could keep him from ever experiencing any symptoms.
William, happy birthday to you.
Very happy that the Halls have a chance to do what we couldn't. Of course, we wish we didn't have to do it at all.
Yeah.
But we hope, we look forward to watching William grow up and, seeing him do whatever things he's going to do.
I think about Julian all the time.
No one wishes for an 8-year-old to leave a legacy.
We owe everything to him. And I just want his name to live on, and I want us to do some good for him.
But this legacy is one of hope and life.
And our final story in this WFAA original special takes a completely unexpected turn. We were always told as children, don't talk to strangers. Well, I got to meet a young woman in Dallas who defies that logic every day as a journalist of a completely unexpected kind.
What's your name?
Derek.
Derek, I'm Elspeth.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Elspeth Wimpy is not afraid to talk to strangers.
Okay, I'm Elspeth.
Nice to meet you.
I'm a dating journalist.
Especially for a crucial cause. What's your what's your pickup line, for lack of a better word, to get someone to talk to you?
I'm literally like, are you single? And I said, no, don't worry, I'm not hitting on you. I'm a dating journalist. Okay, Derek, when was the last time you went on a date with a girl?
What is a dating journalist?
A dating girl is just an investigative reporter on all the things about dating and how men approach women these days and how women approach men and just the whole dating game.
And it's a game the 30-year-old grad student says has grown harder for her peers as we've swapped in-person romance and meet-cutes for dating apps and sliding into the DMs.
People do not know how to communicate. And it's because technology, the apps, they hide behind the screen.
So with microphones tucked into little espresso cups, dressed in her now well-known athletic set, and her videographer in tow, she hits Dallas's popular Katy Trail to get the scoop on the singles in the city.
Grace, what kind of guy are you looking for? So, when was the last time you asked a girl out? Did y'all meet? Were you set up?
She expected people to think her videos were interesting because of the topic, which she didn't expect.
No problem. Oh, thank you. Do you follow me on Instagram?
Was to become somewhat of a celebrity on the trail, or for her videos to put up big numbers.
I wanted to talk about dating because it's such a hot topic, but I didn't think it was this hot of a topic.
There's also something else she could not have anticipated.
So I was running down the trail with my dog. We were on a little adventure and along came Miss Elsbeth, and she approached me and asked if I wanted to be in a video for a dating show. And I just moved to Dallas, didn't have a lot of friends, and initially wanted no part of it. And I just kept going. And I said, no, thank you, have a good day.
But for some reason, that day, 24-year-old Pete Fisher said he decided to change his mind mid-run.
I think it was like an act of God almost, or something like that. He was like, you will meet your future girlfriend if you go back and do that interview. And I was like, all right, we'll do it.
Would you ever ask a girl out on the Katy Trail?
Yes, I would. I actually did yesterday.
This video got 147,000 plays on TikTok and dozens of comments, including one from a woman named Peyton, who is now Fisher's girlfriend.
We have been together for almost 2 months now, and I am so in love, and she's everything I could have ever wanted in a woman.
Elsbeth's videos are actually helping people connect.
They get hundreds of DMs, especially guys.
Really?
Yes.
So you're kind of a matchmaker.
In a way, a matchmaker, but I'm interviewing people and then I want people to figure it out on themselves. Oh, she commented on. Oh.
And when it comes to what she has figured out about dating in Dallas from all of her investigative work,
people are hungry for in-person communication. And so with these interviews, I hope to show people, approach people, take the risk. Don't be scared. Just take the risk and do it and make a conversation.
In essence, don't be so afraid to talk to strangers. You just might meet your soulmate. Thanks for joining us for this year's WFAA Original Special. As always, if you have a story to be told, a dose of hope and inspiration you'd like to share, drop us a line here at WFAA. We'd be happy to hear from you and thankful for the chance to share your original story. I'm Morgan Young. Have a great holiday.